Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, one of the largest stadiums in Spain and home to Real Madrid. This is one of the reasons why the Santiago Bernabéu is so famous. Commonly known as Real Madrid, it is one of the most famous teams in the world that attracts masses in every game they play. When the renovation is completing, it will also be used to hold concerts and will have a capacity of 85,000 visitors, up from its current number of 81,044. In 1943, President of Real Madrid, Santiago Bernabéu, launched one of his great projects, the construction of a stadium that would meet the demands of an increasingly popular sport and a club that was constantly growing. The club undertook the construction of the new stadium, which was initiated on December 1947. In 1943, President of Real Madrid, Santiago Bernabéu, launched one of his great projects, the construction of a stadium that would meet the demands of an increasingly popular sport and a club that was constantly growing. The club undertook the construction of the new stadium, which was initiated on December 1947. On June 1964, the final of the European Championship was played in our stadium, in which Spain achieved the first great victory in its history. At the end of the decade, a great European final would still take place there. Milan and Ajax played it on May 1969, with a victory for the Italians. Facing the World Cup in Spain in 1982, another major remodeling was carried out, with numerous improvements to the facilities and protecting a large number of locations from the weather thanks to a roof that occupied part of the three tiers. The lighting was boosted again and the best video scoreboards of the time were released. During the same year World Cup, the qualifying phase of one of the groups and the grand final were played at the Santiago Bernabéu. After that, another renovation was carried out that would greatly change the aesthetics of the stadium, both inside and out. A third amphitheatre was built at the end and on the west side, in addition to the 4 towers at each corner to facilitate entry and removal of the enclosure and a retractable cover on the east side. In the year 2000, the master plan for the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium was launched, with which, in addition to modernizing the facilities and the construction of an office building on the Padre Damian facade, revolutionized the concept of exploitation, turning the stadium into a resource for the club beyond match days, with a new Bernabéu tour, several restaurants and the largest sports store in the world. On September 2002, within the framework of the Real Madrid centenary celebrations, a sporting event that was not football took place in our stadium. Here the cycling tour of Spain ended with a stage against the clock that had its finish line on the pitch of the stadium. The investments made in the Santiago Bernabéu since the beginning of the century bore fruit in 2007, when UEFA included it in the category of elite stadiums, the highest consideration of the European body and an essential requirement to continue organizing major competition finals. 30 years later, a final of the highest European competition was once again being played there. On May 2010, Inter Milan and Bayern Munich faced each other to determine the new European champion. December 2018 is a historic date for world football. For the first time, the Copa Libertadores final was played outside the American continent, and the venue chosen was the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. The legend of Real Madrid, the best club of all time, has been forged there, and on their field of play the dreams of all Real Madrid fans come true. In the last decade they have celebrated 4 European Cups with Real in 5 years. In 2018, for the first time a club was proclaimed European champion in both football and basketball, and the two teams celebrated it on the pitch of the Madrid Temple. When you visit this stadium, you can not only see a game during football season, but you can also take the Bernabéu tour. This tour showcases the brilliant design of the stadium itself as well as memorabilia and information about the Real Madrid team. The whole family can find fun visiting Santiago Bernabéu Stadium, as a game and the tour are perfect for adults and kids alike. Most people spend about an hour or so on the tour and several hours for a game. Ideally, you should strive to experience both during your visit to Madrid to get the full experience from this world-famous stadium. The tour includes visit to the museum and Santiago Bernabéu 21st century model, photo with the Champions League Cup, panoramic of the stadium, end the visit in style and discover from the inside the spectacular transformation of one of the greatest tourist icons of Madrid. Walks the perimeter of the field of play. Box of Honor, the most exclusive area of the stadium. First team dressing room, the place where the best players in the world have passed through, and visiting team dressing room. Tunnel of players, from there everything looks different and even more difficult. Sit in the press room where the coach appears after each game before the media. Finally visit to the official store, you can take home a souvenir of your experience. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos and write your comments or questions.